Hey everyone, it's Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. We are so close to the most wonderful time of the year, Victober. So I'm here to talk about my TBR. So Victober stands for Victorian Literature October, and it is an annual readathon celebrating all things Victorian literature. So Victorian literature is works that were published by authors from England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales during the reign of Queen Victoria from 1837 to 1901. So there are three hosts this year: Lucy from Lucy the Reader, Kate Howe, and Katie from Books and Things, and I will link all their channels down below. They are all fantastic and they have a crazy amount of recommendations and they all sound so good. The first challenge is Lucy's, and that is to read a book with a female main character. For that I chose Ziska by Marie Corelli. This one really caught my attention because Ziska is this mysterious princess who gets the attention of these European tourists when they come to Egypt. So this is a tale that spans centuries, and it has gothic supernatural horror, Egyptian folklore, star-crossed lovers, and satire of the British upper classes. Once I saw this, I immediately wanted to read it, and it's been so hard to save it for Victober. Challenge number 2 is Katie's challenge, and that is to read a book set in the countryside or the city or both. For that challenge, I'm going to be rereading Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. This is one of my absolute favorite books. I don't even know how many times I've read it, to be honest, but I love it so much, and I'm definitely due for a reread, so I'm very excited to get to this one. Challenge number 3 is Kate's challenge: read a sensation novel, and for that I chose The Woman in White. I read this a number of years ago, and I remember I absolutely loved it, and I'm really excited to reread it because I don't remember that much about it. This is such an atmospheric novel. It opens up with this eerie encounter on this moonlit London road, and it's just full of atmosphere and covers like identity and insanity and The Woman in White. It's got gothic horror with some psychological realism. It's such a good book. Even though it is kind of lengthy, I think it's around 700-ish pages. To me, it read really quickly, and this was when I wasn't reading a ton of Victorian literature. The story is just so gripping to me that I had to know what happened next and get answers that I just flew through this. Number 4 is the group challenge: read a popular Victorian novel that you have not read yet. So for that one, I picked Lorna Dune by R.D. Blackmore. This is also our October pick in Kate Howe's Readalong Most Victorian Patreon. So this one was published in 1869, and it follows the story of John Ridd, who is a farmer who finds love amid religious and social turmoil of 17th century England. It's got clans, star-crossed lovers, and descriptions of the English countryside, and it just sounds like a really good time. So I have high hopes for it, and I think it will be really, really good. Next is the bonus prompt, which is read aloud a section of a Victorian novel or have it read aloud to you via a friend or an audiobook. The one that I want to just listen to completely is Three Men in a Boat by Jerome K. Jerome, and this is supposed to be a really funny book with some eccentric characters. I've heard nothing but good things about this one, and it sounds like it's going to be a really fun time. The audiobook isn't that long. I think it's about 6 hours, so this is one that I think I can get through pretty quickly and enjoy. And the last prompt is the group read, which it would not be a Victober without Elizabeth Gaskell. So our group read is Gothic Tales. These are a bunch of short stories, and it says it blends the real and the supernatural to eerie, compelling effect. I'm really excited. I'm in the mood for some spooky, supernatural-esque stories, which is perfect for October. And I am so excited to get to this one. I have been dying to read another Gaskell, so I was really excited to see that this one won the poll. Another Victorian novel that I want to read was actually recommended by Kate Howe. She recently read this and loved it, and that is In the Roar of the Sea by Sabine Baring-Gould. It sounds really good. It's based on true events, and it follows the story of the fearsome and lawless Captain Cruel Coppinger, whose life of crime and violence and whose passion for the gentle golden-haired Judith makes a truly absorbing and exciting tale with a tremendous climax. I think this is going to be really good. So those are all my choices for Victober. I do want to read some poetry, such as The Goblin Market by Christina Rossetti, and I do want to read more than just these, but this is all I'm committing to right now, because otherwise this would be a completely unrealistic TBR, even though it kind of already is. So my other reads for October, we are continuing through the second third of The Count of Monte Cristo. I do have an announcement video for that below, but the first third was so much fun, and I want answers that are happening in the next section. This has been such a fun reread, and I'm really looking forward to this next section. Also, I'm going to read another 9 chapters in the Brontes biography. This is a read-along hosted by Kate Howe. So far, the first third of the book has been really fascinating. I really like the way Juliet Barker writes this. It feels kind of conversational and like I'm reading like a fiction book. I also plan on continuing my very casual read of Letters from Russia with Christie. Also, I want to read One Feta in the Grave by Tina Cashian. This is book 3 in the Kebab Kitchen mystery series. On the Killing Time with Cozy's Discord, we are having a series read-along for the series. I am really excited about this. It's set on the Jersey Shore. It's got a Mediterranean restaurant, and who doesn't love a good murder? I'm really, really excited for this one. I am also planning on starting Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I am one of the guest hosts on the read-along hosted by the Codex Cantina, Chrissy Lewis, and Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative. And Noah from Everyone Who Reads Must Converse is also a guest host. I've probably read this 3 or 4 times now, and I love it so much. And I'm really excited to read this again. Also, on the Killing Time with Cozy's Discord, they have Scavenger Hunt prompts every month instead of book club picks. The one I chose for the fall or Halloween themed prompt is Drizzled with Death by Jessie Crockett. It's book 1 in the Sugar Grove mystery series. The annual pre-Thanksgiving pancake eating contest is a big event in Sugar Grove, New Hampshire, and when an obnoxious outsider, Alonza Speedwell, flops face first into a stack of flapjacks during contest, Greener Pastures syrup falls under suspicion. Danny knows the police are barking up the wrong tree, and she is determined to pull her loved ones out of a very sticky situation. I have heard very good things about these series. The cover is adorable, and I love the title. Finally, if I can fit this in, that's a big if, I would like to reread Crime and Punishment. Christy Lewis is hosting a read-along for this. I read it last year and absolutely loved it. This is one of the books that I was most intimidated by, and it turned out to be such an enjoyable experience. It follows an axe murderer, so instead of trying to figure out who done it, you figure out why he done it, if that makes sense. It's really, really good. It kind of reads like a psychological thriller, and I love the character work in here. Raskolnikov is such a fascinating character, and I loved being in his head through this entire book. It's so good. So this is my Victober/October TBR. Are you planning on reading any of these, or have you read any of these? If you're participating in Victober, please let me know, especially if you have a TBR video up. I would love to watch it and see what you're planning on reading. If you just want to let me know you're here, drop a pancake emoji down below. As always, if you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.